Welcome to the Director's Commentary podcast for Heart, the City Beneath. I'm Grant Howitt, and I'm joined by Christopher Taylor, and we wrote the Heart RPG. In these episodes, we'll be going through the text of the book and discussing how we came to design the game. For more information on Heart and our other titles, go to rrdgames.com. Do you know any songs about anniversaries? Because we could change that to be about adversaries.
Happy birthday to you. Technically anniversary.
Technically an anniversary. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Adversaries, or Adversaries, as it's pronounced.
We're getting worse at these segues, not better.
I think calling it as a segue is an insult to the English language.
Fair.
We're going to split this chapter up into two lumps because it's quite a long one. Is there anything you want to talk about, like the way in which we built adversaries, the way in which like what ideas we had going in?
So we tried to keep adversaries really simple, so that the GM didn't have a lot of cognitive load coming from them. Because I've played in games and run games where NPCs are either as complicated or honestly more complicated than player characters. And it's just so much to think about. And when you can essentially just go, they got resistance 6 and they do D6 stress. If you want, you don't have to do anything else.
Every NPC in my game, you say?
Exactly, yeah. You can just bung that on.
Yeah.
And work it out. Like, I mean, the method that I use is to work out how many times I want them to get stabbed before they die.
Yes.
And so I assume that they're going every stab they're going to take they're going to take 4 damage, and then I times that by how tough I want them to be. So your boss will have probably 3 stabs on them, and that's it.
Three good stabs.
Yeah, and I mean that's not obviously because it's stress, not fallout, as it were. Like it's 3 on-target attacks that they parry away or whatever.
Now you've got protection and what have you as well.
Yeah, and you can fiddle with it, but that's just the simplest way of making them. And then if it's particularly difficult or dangerous, I'll stick dangerous or risky on it.
From a fictional point of view, something which I was really keen to talk about was I wanted the enemies to be pathetic.
Yes.
I wanted them to be rubbish and like just trying. Because it's fun writing a bestiary. It's fun reading a bestiary as well. Like this sort of this fictional encyclopedia, you know, it's really cool. It doesn't, for me, make a lot of sense if these animals are sort of angry or evil.
Yeah, nothing in here is expressly like evil.
Not really, no. And like if it is, you can see what happened to push it that way.
Yes, and also they're all personified. They all have a selection of names. They all have descriptors and motivations. If we could put a motivation on it.
I think like everything definitely has a motivation. There's some which are like, no, you can't pronounce the names. Don't worry about it. Yeah. For me, I wanted them to feel. I want players to feel almost like they were doing them a favor by killing them. There's an awful lot of things which are caught up in something which is beyond their understanding, or part of a bigger whole, or trapped in an infernal loop, and in a way they're sort of dark mirrors of the characters.
And also, there's no goblin.
No, there's nothing that's just alright to kill as Pitchkin, which are close.
Yes, but also like there's no generic monster. Like
no, there's no orc.
Yeah, exactly. In Dungeons & Dragons, it's your orcs, it's your goblins, it's your kobolds, that sort of thing. They're just quick. I need some of those. Just sling them in. Like the skeleton we have, which is the closest to a D&D monster, is a skeleton courtier and appears in one bizarre place.
And is drunk.
Yeah, you can use it for anything, but it's a skeleton courtier. It's not some skeleton with a sword and a shield, you know.
Yeah, it's a person.
Exactly. But we start. Angels. We start with angels.
Angels was the first. So the text from Angel was the first thing I released from Heart in any way. I was like, oh, what's this? And then released the full text of the Angel paragraph with all the stats and stuff on there, and put that up without explaining anything as to what it was. And I'm really happy with that.
It's an excellent marketing tool.
It's an excellent marketing tool. They're very much they're the iconic poster boys. I like to think of them as the carrion priests of Heart.
Yeah,
they really capture people's imaginations, and they're fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
they're really bad things to have. They are so Angel, like the originator of the term Angel is messenger. The root word is malak, which is also what we call powerful drug and spire. But they are messengers of the heart. They are harbingers, and they bring they are agents of something which we can't understand, and I like to think of them like they are very much a last resort for the heart.
Yeah, it doesn't just fling one out, because there's an element of the angel being a bit of an indiscriminate tool. Like you set it on a mission, and the heart sets it on a mission, and you're never quite sure how it's going to do it or what the mission is,
and whether you're in the way or you're the mission.
If you actually look at the stats of an angel, like they're dangerous, they have resistance 20, protection equal to the tier that they're on. They're pretty tough.
Yeah, and also you can't overcome it with piercing.
And their attacks are D10 piercing.
Yeah,
and
they kill you.
They're meant to kill you, and also they aren't. This angel is not the toughest angel in the game.
No, we have some more.
In Sanctum, there's much more powerful and much harder to kill creatures. But still, if this thing rocks up, run. Like, it's not worth your time. You're going to lose somebody. You're going to get some crazy fallout crazy quick. And I like that there's this like nuclear option for the heart.
Yeah, I think that the art that Felix did has really captured that as well, because we went back and forth on the angel. Like, I think that's one of the few sketches that we said actually we want this changed, because originally it was hovering like a fetus.
Yes,
it was in a fetal position. It was hovering forward, and I remember thinking like, no, I want it to be scarier. Like this thing has intent and purpose.
Yeah, and there's some really nice touches by Felix on this piece of art. So you've got the Incarnadine looking shocked whilst trying to help. I don't know who that is.
It's the heretic.
Oh yeah, they can see the little pointy hat, and the witch is just going, I know what that is. And is just hiding and trying not to make a noise.
Yeah.
And it's the abject fear of the witch crossed with this kind of awe and terror of the people who are right next to it. And like, she's not even trying to help.
No.
Because she knows there's no point. It's a really nice bit of scene setting there.
I'm really impressed with it. My canonical angel, the one I think of, doesn't have legs. It's like I view it almost like it's like a statue with a pillar of weird bone as instead of legs, and it just is closer to you rather than moving, because that's one of my phobias.
Mine does have legs, and it's got that kind of, the pose that's very much come to popularity through things like Siren Head and Slender Man.
So that's sort of, what's this?
They're sort of like they're slightly leaning back.
Yeah, like head cocked.
Yeah, and the arms drooping, like they've got that sort of pose.
Yeah. I was trying to come up with a pithy name for it, but we all know what we're
talking about. Yeah, and they're like these caricatures of the humanoid. And I like this one, the one in the art, because it has a mask, because the heart has seen an Elfair.
Yeah.
And it has this umbilical cord that's sort of wrapped around it.
I like to imagine that's what the heart is. That back there is the only drawing of Tier 4 in the book.
Yeah.
The stuff behind it.
It's just red.
So yeah, angels are cool.
They are.
Use them in your game, but use them carefully. We've got the Automaton of Burden, where he sort of accidentally invented AI.
Yes, yeah, they come from the source.
We were looking... Oh no, that's
it's a different one. Oh yeah, that's the Sourceborn construct. I always get these two mixed up.
So, I mean, they're very similar. Not in terms of stats, but we've written up a bunch of monsters, and then we were trying to think of new kinds of adversaries, new kinds of challenges for people to face, and we weren't really feeling anything. We weren't like, we'd reinvented a bunch of stuff. And so what I did was I plugged together a random generator, which had different stats for heart monsters, and then pushed the button. And a few of them basically made it in intact, because they didn't have any fluff attached to them. We saw this and was like, right, what is that? What's the fluff on that? And so the Automaton of Burden, I really liked the idea of a trader riding basically a big dog.
Yeah.
From Boston, is it Boston Laboratories?
Yeah, Boston Dynamics, yeah.
Yeah, from Boston Dynamics. And so like riding a 6-legged brass and wooden big dog, and he's sort of tapping in front of the big dog so it can follow the sound, so it walks.
Yeah, like, and I came up with
that seems hard as fuck.
I came up with the symbol thing, because there's that thing going around of like how you, because like a self-driving car is using symbols. Like it's like you can put a line of salt around it and confuse a car because it's seeing a white line.
You can bind
and these people don't have all the tech, but they do know what symbols it tracks by. So he's just stamping the symbol in front of it just to make sure it knows where it's going all the time. And it's this weirdly cute image.
It is, isn't it?
Like, I have this beautiful picture in my head of people trekking over the wilderness and then seeing this overpacked machine thing with an old man smoking a pipe. Just trudging on his own. He's fine.
Its legs are all really sort of spindly and wobbly and sort of like picking through things, and like it's walking like an old lady. I quite like that.
Partly because it's massively overloaded.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you can have one. It's a Dell D6 item. You can strap your tea to it.
Exactly. Now the Blighted. Mm-hmm. The Blighted came about because one of the things we did is we looked through the Dungeons and Dragons Monstrous Manual, and we picked out a load of monsters that we thought were cool. And you will also see that an awful lot of these are just conversions from Greek mythology. So those are the two like real sources we used for these. We'd come up fairly early with the woods, which became Briar. So Treant seemed like a perfect thing. And I'm like, how can we make that horribly icky?
What if trees could get eczema and anxiety?
And mouths. And so they have these horrible little parasites in them that make them insanely itchy because the thing's slowly eating them. It's like...
And intelligent.
Yeah, and intelligent. Like, what if a table was aware that it was being eaten by termites? And the only way they can appease this is by, like, sticking animals and people onto the wounds so that the parasites eat that for a bit, not them. And that's so sad.
I think like the image I had was of this tree walking towards you with a deer impaled on its branches, and it's like that's dinner, or more accurate, that's like a bandage, as it were.
Yeah, well, in the art, it's a fox and a person.
Yeah, that for me was very much like, cool, I've got it now. That's what tree people are in this. They are terrifying.
Their sole motivation is to get the itching to stop.
Poor buggers.
That's awful. And we want, and as you said, like this is the world, but crap. And these things are just so sad. Next up, we got the Blooded.
Tricky, the Blooded, because sort of they're the indigenous people of Heart.
Kind of.
Kind of. And so there's kind of a tricky line to walk there. But I think we did okay, honestly.
Yeah. So the Blooded are like there are no indigenous people of Heart.
No, there's people who've been there for generations.
Yes,
but not that. Yeah, you know what? Sorry, there's not. It's always been explored. It's not a place for people. You're right.
Yeah. So these are people who have come from somewhere else and soaked the heart up and become something different, and then they have settled down, and there have been multiple generations all infected and things like that.
It's probably worth mentioning at this point. If you turn to the very start of your book, you'll see the faces of hearts. So I mean, like the inlay,
in papers.
Yeah, thank you. And this used to be a bit more tentacly.
A lot more tentacly, yeah.
It used to be a bit more traditionally what you think of when you think of mutations. For example, Gamelworld. Any sort of game with mutant in the title, that sort of thing. Like there's an element of wackiness to it. Like, it might be horrific, but there's still something quite cartoonish.
Sure. Yeah.
About it. And I think we wanted to stay away from that. We didn't want to think of the heart as, like, again, we've mentioned earlier in the podcast, it wasn't a corruption, it was something else. It wasn't inherently bad. It wasn't inherently it was just inhuman. And so one thing which really stuck with me, which really sort of stuck in my mind, is these pictures taken after Hiroshima of black fingernails.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to explain it for the listener. But basically, due to the radiation that they were suffering, due to the radioactive fallout, the people's fingernails grew incredibly long and black and brittle if they were caught in the radiation exposed to radiation. And there's these really haunting images of these poor, like, blind, like, absolutely gone humans, and it's like just absolutely, like, this terrifying to see what we've done to each other. And the idea of mutation not as, I've got an octopus arm now, but like your body's gone weird.
Yeah, because quite often mutation is billed as something positive in games. Like, now I've got an enormous claw, that means I up my strength and I can tear open tanks.
Yeah, and we've got the cleaver if you want that.
Yeah, but most of the time, mutation is generally bad.
Yeah. It's and if it's good, it's non-sustainable.
Yes, and like, I mean, one of the descriptors here is growing rows of teeth inside their mouth, which makes them bite like motherfucker, like, that's dangerous. But they can't really talk because their mouth's not built for that many teeth.
Yeah, and I think we wanted to sort of show it's like the human body got its instructions wrong.
Exactly.
Which is more akin to actual mutation rather than, I've got bird wings now.
Yes, perfectly working bird wings, unlikely.
Butchers, Chris, I'd like you to take butchers.
Butchers are one of my favourite monsters. Because I am a huge fan of Wendigo myths, and this kind of comes from the modern interpretation of Wendigo, not the original ethnic Wendigo.
The traditional, yeah.
Yeah, because that has been so changed since then. But it's kind of the modern consciousness concept of the Wendigo. And shifted it so that I wanted something that was a bit like a troll. In that, in games, you have these really difficult to kill monsters who, favour bridges traditionally. But what that means to me is that they favour the paths people travel. And a butcher is a really good adversary to put on a delve. Because they have a base of operations that a lot of other adversaries just don't have. They have this cave wall that they worship and eat. And they need to replenish, so they push people into it to be absorbed into the heart meat that they can then eat it again. And it uses the standard trope of cannibalism is how you become one. So you've got this thing of like, this used to be a standard person.
Well, it's not even cannibalism. It's if you eat heart meat.
Yeah.
If you eat the walls, you can eat people. That's all right.
Yeah, that's basically fine. People do that all the time. But if you start consuming large quantities of heart, then this is one of the fates that awaits you.
My favourite thing about butchers is they hate each other and will kill each other on sight.
Yes. Yeah. Bringing two butchers together is a good way to get rid of two butchers.
That's a plot there.
And also, they're really difficult to kill.
Oh my days! Yeah, they're horrible.
They've got protection 3.
So get someone with piercing in there, yeah.
Yeah. And also, they have the fallout where they take you and try and push you into the wall. So I like it. I was always enamored with the owlbear thing, where what they want to do is rip off your arm and run home to their pups. And like the concept of this butcher just grabbing one of you from out of the undergrowth and leaving.
Oh, it's fucking terrifying.
Like in a standard role playing game, if a monster attacks you, they attack you and do a fight.
Yeah.
But and these things can hit you pretty hard, like they're doing D10.
Oh yeah, that'll.
So it's possible for them to hit you once, do a major to blood, and then immediately take you.
Yeah.
And then at that point, second they've got somebody, they leave.
Oh, just imagine like the Vermissian knight trailblazing ahead, then suddenly just disappearing as they're pulled through a wall.
Yeah. And like, what do you do as the rest of the party? Like, that's panic time. Like, I guess we follow. What do we do? Do we leave him? Is he just gone?
I guess we're going to chase it.
I don't want to chase it. No, I don't want to chase it either.
I guess we're going to chase it back to its home. So it's on its home turf. Great, good stuff.
Yeah, where it's no doubt prepared like horrid pungy pits to just attract accidental meat.
But, you know what? Let's go back and threaten its god and food source.
Yeah, like burn its wall down.
There's the carnival.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to talk about the carnival here.
Yeah, sure. The carnival's mine. I put it in. I really push for it. I love the ideas of a memetic virus. I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. The labyrinth is people who have been compelled to build a labyrinth. The carnival is a gift. It is a memetic song. This memetically transmitted virus in song, which was given to the city beneath by a benevolent elf here who just wanted people to have a lovely time and dance.
Mm-hmm. So kind.
And so they sang this song into the heart with tremendous magical power, and now people hear it and dance forever. It was inspired by the mass hallucinations, like the dancing plagues of the Middle Ages, which I believe was caused by some sort of crazy flower fungus. The final paragraph, we've got like the mumma pox, which is a memetically translated play which takes millennia to work. Sorry, not memetically translated. Brainworm. And Scrivener's Lament forces all that carry it Forces those that carry it to write book after book, all attributed to the same author. This is sort of wanting to sort of talk about how unknowable and wild the heart is by showing its effects on people.
Yeah, and also to get some of the Elfir weirdness in.
Yeah, the carnival, like the people who make up the carnival, are not villains.
No,
they're not. They're not even really doing anything bad. They're infected, and they're not going to eat you. It's not like, oh, we have to save them from the zombies. And so, like, I think that it would be a really fun mission. Just like, okay, the carnival's coming to town, help us, and then
please,
and then rescue whoever gets taken. I think there's something like, I think that would be a really cool idea for a Sanctum campaign, actually, rather than having an angel who's going to come to unmake the place. You could just call it the carnival is coming to town.
Yeah, you just see in the distance fireworks.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and you can hear this music just getting closer and closer.
Yeah, that's gross. Ugh. Carrion pigs are awful. I don't want to talk about them.
Carrion pigs are raw consumption as an animal.
I hate them.
Yes.
They're terrifying.
What?
They're horny.
They are horny, yes. But people keep them because they're good sources of food.
And they're also rubbish. Depot. Like you can feed them anything, they render it down into fertilizer. Yeah,
and that in the heart is invaluable. The problem is they're resistance 15, protection 5, and risky if they're in heat. They're just the worst.
They're awful. Like if you can get past that protection, not too hard. You're all right.
Yeah,
you'll get there. But if you don't have anything which knocks through like 2 foot of pig flesh, yeah, you're fucked, mate.
Yeah.
Just leave it. That haven's gone now.
You're on your own. So
I hate them. They're gross.
The Cult of Knives, the next one in the book. Mm-hmm. I love this art so much.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Because at first glance, you'd be tempted to think, "Wow, that's a weird cultist with all those knives in him." Mm-hmm. Nope. No, that is incorrect. That is a victim.
Yeah, that is an apostle.
The cult is currently embedded in that person. These are all sapient knives.
I will say, I love the cult knives. It isn't very hard. It's much more Spire.
It is much more Spire. And honestly, you could transport it over to Spire real easy.
It fits easier into Spire than it does in Heart, but I'm perfectly happy to put it somewhere.
Yeah, but it goes well with things like the Damnic Temple of Fury.
Yes, very much so.
And things like that, where they're specifically gathering weapons that have done a murder. And obviously, like, it's very rare that you've got a knife in Heart that's only been used to cut food. You know?
Yeah.
It's that sort of place. So yes, these are knives that want to kill again, basically.
They're not animate.
No, they
don't have any superpowers. They can't fly around.
They need people.
Yeah.
They need vectors to get into other people.
I suppose, which is kind of arguing like guns don't kill people
kill people. I guess.
But guns make it a lot easier.
They do make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
The Druid leg breaker, or drug enforcer.
Yeah, they were going to be bigger, I think. We were going to have more in terms of like these sort of gang druids doing mushrooms, but it felt too Spire, and we cut it.
Yeah, so we have one to support the Red Cap Grove, and it's something I'd like to look into more. Like the drug trade of Spire is really interesting to me because you've got so many different echelons.
Yeah.
Like, you've got classy drugs, you've got street drugs, you've got grimy drugs, you've got everything of different tiers. And then you've got drugs that come from the heart.
Yeah, we haven't thought of that really, have we?
Yeah. And these people are the leg breakers. They're the people that protect the crops and are high as balls.
It took us quite a while to work out what we wanted them to turn into because they're druids. I think we eventually we sort of ended up on, the creatures from the Descent, that.
Yeah,
but more pallid. Well, I like grey. I think, in that there's something sort of proto-human about them, or some sort of terror. Oh, actually, what was it called? The cave, the island. What was the name of that game we played? where the plane crash landed and then
the island.
Cut.
Yeah,
the
and
island.
you got cannibals.
Yeah, cannibals. And,
the forest. That's it. Yeah.
The forest. The cannibals, and the deeper you went into the cannibal caves, you found more and more sort of like there's something which was just 7 legs and a mouth.
Yeah, and the one thing that was just babies, just put together.
That was fucky, that game.
And it would just come squealing out of the darkness.
Didn't like that game.
It was brutal.
Like, it was exciting. I just didn't like it.
Understandable.
It was exciting, like falling off my chair. It was exciting.
Yeah.
False Hallows, which are another from the random generator. We thought it'd be interesting to have, to talk about cult leaders because that's quite a common trope for players to go into.
Yeah, and I really got into this because it's when I was younger, one of my favourite series of books was The Wheel of Time.
Oh right, yeah.
And in that they have their sort of messiah figure of the dragon, and I can't remember which books it is, like 2, 3, and 4 or something like that. Like a long period of time of this writing are about false dragons and people claiming to be this messiah and all the damage they can do with that. And that's what False Hallows are. They're people who aren't, they're liars at the heart of it, right? They've got some power because they've got belief and they're in heart.
They've got protection 3 kill D10.
Mm-hmm.
And a cult around them.
Yes.
And they are hugely dangerous. But it's talking about, I suppose, like that it doesn't matter whether you've got God on your side down here.
No, absolutely not.
The heart's on your side.
Like you've got.
Do you believe so?
You've got power. And
on the subject.
That counts.
On the subject of on the side of God, the feral psychopomp is pretty much the saddest monster in the book. Not counting the legendaries.
I was say definitely not counting the legendaries. That's something else.
Yeah, the legendaries are special sad boys. The feral psychopomp is an angel that got lost on the way back to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're sort of like eating books. I think is always sort of fun. And they've got one wing and not in a cool Sephiroth way. And
like the one in the pictures using an oar as a walking stick and has a splint on their leg. Like that's not how you imagine these angelic creatures.
Felix did. I think that's probably like the best communication of a concept I've seen that we came up with, which Felix just fucking did.
Yeah, like it's got 4 wings. The arms are in the wrong order.
It's got like not all the halos there, but it's got the bird feet and it's got this weirdly human fate, and it's really he's captured it so well. And
also, you can kill him.
Yeah, you can kill him. That's okay.
Resistance 7, protection 2. That's not hard to kill.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight.
Yeah. Talking about interesting fights. The Flightless Owl Hive. Just saying it is awful.
Flightless Owl Hive.
We wanted a swarm monster.
Many years ago, it was a game called Cities Skylines, where you could build different kinds. It's Sim Cities, but streamlined, basically, and from what I can tell, slightly better. And I wanted to write a mod where I replaced everything in a city to be owl themed.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of like the Coleshaw residence, it would be just a big owl that looks at you, and things like that. And one of the things I had was Flightless Owl Hive, or just Owl Hive, which you had instead of a factory, because that's where owls come from.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote Heart and had a place to put it because I never got to write that mod for the game. You can tell I wrote this one early because I talk about folk stories at the start. There's a certain luxuriance to the prose, I think, and they're fucking awful.
Like the Resistance 3.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's the Queen you've got to worry.
Oh yeah, you can kick one of these owls and it will die. That's fine, but it's not on its own.
They're mole rats basically.
Yeah, but
dog-sized mole rats.
Owls.
If you're not scared of owls, please search for GIF of owl, and it is GIF, not GIF.
Whatever you've got to say.
It's not the general image protocol, is it? Search for owl eating mouse, and then come back to me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, for this episode,
ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Good, because they're not real, but they are in heart.
There we go.
I love ghosts, and I use them all the time to explain how combat works in Spire.
Heart?
That's what I meant to say, yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, why?
Because a ghost has protection 10, which is, not ignored by piercing. impossible to overcome, basically.
Yeah, you can't jack anything up to do enough. Like, you could maybe do like 2 damage to it.
Like, it's entirely possible, but it's going to take you a while, and it is going to mess you up in that time. However,
they've got piercing.
They have got piercing. Consuming an appropriate resource with occult or religion tags and a value of D6 or greater allows the character to ignore the ghost protection value to the end of the situation. Researching the specific item needed to affect a specific ghost allows you to ignore the protection value and increases your stress inflicted by 2 steps. Ghosts become trivial with research. Ghosts are they have 5 resistance. They are roughly as difficult to kill as the flightless owl hive if you've done your research ahead of time. And I use that because you can do that. You can take this rule and apply it to literally anything. So, for instance, if you know there's if the end of your campaign is you want to kill an angel, you can find a way around its protections and its difficulties and things like that by doing preparation. And it's things that it's a great set of tools the GM can use to change difficulty and to change protection legitimately within the system rather than just making something up. Of course, you are completely at liberty to just make something up, but if you've put it in at 1 difficulty and then change it, players tend to notice and feel a bit weird about it sometimes.
I note that actually this might interest you as well, listener. This is not original heart art. We bought this off Felix at a cut rate because he drew it for someone else and didn't use it.
Yeah, and I love this picture and also hate it. Sorry, Felix.
It is terrifying to look at.
No, there's a couple of things that drive me nuts on it.
Oh, what's that?
The face on the knee is the wrong way up.
Well, I figure he's put that on after he died.
After he died, he's taken it off and plugged it back on.
Yeah, so it's the right way up.
Okay.
What's the other thing?
The sword and the axe as well.
Those are hanging weird.
They should be the other way round, but hanging wonkier.
I think it's a bit like that Sisters of Battle special hero that they released for Games Workshop, who's supposed to be hovering, and like all of her robes and equipment is hovering up as well, and it just looks like she's falling down. It's terrible. So I appreciate the artistic choices that Felix took.
No. Like, as I say, I like the picture. Like, overall, it's just I don't know why, but that knee pad throws me right out every time.
I would also note we do not have rules in Heart for putting ghosts to rest. I would remind the listener of Ghost Stories, honestly an excellent source book for World of Darkness.
I think it's one of the only World of Darkness books I still own.
Which is like, hey, so here's how to tell ghost stories using the World of Darkness game. Here's how to put a ghost to rest. Here are some ghost abilities. Here's what happens when you go into their home, etc., etc. Really cool, really clever. You can put a ghost to rest if you write their suicide note on your sword and stab them with it, which I think is just very much on brand for us, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And with that, let's wrap it up. You've been listening to the Director's Commentary podcast for Heart, The City Beneath. I was Grant Howitt, and I was joined by Christopher Taylor, and we wrote the Heart RPG. For more information on Heart and our other titles, go to rrdgames.com.